Today's episode of Pool Magazine podcast is brought to you by Lyon Financial. Partner with the leader in swimming pool loans to make backyard dreams come true. Lyon Financial offers the best options in the industry, including rates as low as 2.99%, terms up to 30 years, and loans up to $200,000. Make your customers' dreams an affordable reality. Call Lyon Financial today.
Thanks for joining us on another episode of Pool Magazine podcast. Today I'm chatting with industry icon and veteran pool builder Lucas Congdon of Lucas Lagoons in Sarasota, Florida. It's an absolute pleasure to have you with us today on the show.
Thank you. It's awesome to be here.
You know, I've been following your career probably for the last 10 years. I mean, you have tons of awards under your belt, the hit cable TV show, Insane Pools Off the Deep End, and a massive following of homeowners who all of a sudden want a Lucas Lagoon pool. Is it safe to say that, Lucas Lagoons has become like kind of a household name by now?
Yeah, that's how it feels. Wherever I go, there's always people, excited to see me, or sometimes I get, where do I know you from? And then I know right away, like, I don't know them, so it must be the show. And, it's flattering. It's pretty cool. Sometimes it's, awkward moments where you're like running to catch a flight you're late for and someone stops you and you don't want to be rude. So you try to make the time. But it's pretty cool to just be able to share my passion and have people recognize that. And it's obviously really hard to kind of start a company and let people know what you're about. And the show really helped show people, what we're about. And that's quality and fun and, building one of a kind pieces of art you can swim in.
Did you ever have this kind of thought, I'm going to be a pool celebrity one day. I'm going to get stopped in the airport and I'm going to get stopped in the restaurant for an autograph. Did that ever dawn into your mind when you first started down this path?
Well, it's kind of funny, when you're younger, it's hard to know what you want to do when you grow up. And I always loved the video camera. My aunt and uncle were the first in the family to have a video camera. And every time they had it on, I'd jump in front of it and act goofy and do silly stuff. And then when I starting to college, I didn't know whether I wanted to do like landscape architecture or film. And then I got bored with the school thing and just jumped into, creating things. And it's just cool because both passions ended up coming together. And it wasn't like I had this all planned out. It just kind of one thing led to another. But, I just always made videos and loved, kind of sharing what I was up to. And, through YouTube, that's how it kind of all got kicked off.
Well, I was listening to your episode on Pool Chasers a while back, and I know you were originally a Vermont guy. So, take us on your journey how'd you get from Vermont to Sarasota, Florida? How'd you get started in the industry? And what was that kind of path like for you to develop Lucas Lagoons to becoming one of the most well-known pool builders in the world?
Well, really, I remember back to there was one winter where I was working for my mom doing stonework, and every morning it was like an hour drive to this beautiful home on Lake Champlain, but it was the winter, so we'd have to brush all the snow off the rocks before we started working, and my fingers were so cold. And I remember right then and there thinking, I got to find another place to work. And so shortly after that, I did a tour around the U.S. With my girlfriend at the time, and trying to find a place to move to so I could work year round and just kind of start doing my own thing. And we were kind of torn between California and Florida, but I was a young kid without any money, and California is pretty expensive. So I decided, it seems like there's the same opportunities in Florida, and it's a lot cheaper to live there. So we chose Florida. And after that, just kind of one thing led to another. Started doing tree work and some landscaping, and then got into some water features. And then I had a client that said they wanted to remodel their pool. I knew nothing about pools, but I knew if I did some beautiful rock work like I did growing up in Vermont around the pool, it would look beautiful. And so I had met Crash, who has been on the TV show and with me from the beginning, and he had done some pool tile coping, some remodels, so he knew a little bit about it, and I knew about the rock work. And so we did our first pool remodel. It came out beautiful, and it just kind of, the rest is history. After that, I realized that's what I love to do, and I found my passion. And I just I changed my business name from Earthworks to Lucas Lagoons, and said, this is what I want to do. I want to build lagoon style pools, and just kind of took off from there in 2003.
That's incredible. I mean, we touched base on awards real quick. I mean, congratulations on this year's FSPA awards. I mean, I had a chance to check out some of these projects and they're really breathtaking. I mean, you had that one project I fell in love with that had that slide and the grotto and the tiki. I mean, can you tell us a little bit more about that project?
Yeah, so it's hard to keep them all straight. I have a list of some of the most recent awards, but they're all just so unique and different. And when I first started out, we took the time to submit for a lot of awards. We won, within the first couple of years, I think it was almost 40 awards. And then I got so busy with the show, I didn't submit for awards for years. And then just recently, we've had some time to start submitting, and it was just awesome to get such great feedback from FSPA, and then we also have won some awards with what's some of the other other ones I'm looking right now.
I look through it. Pinnacle Award too. Yeah,
the Pinnacle Award, a couple other things we've submitted for, and it's just been awesome. So each job is just so uniquely different. We've been doing some modern designs as well, and getting awards for some of the modern designs has been cool too, just to show that we're well-rounded. We're not a one-trick pony. Not only can we do beautiful designs with a lagoon style pool, but if someone wants a more refined modern look, we've been having fun kind of exploring that style as well, and just really enjoy, no matter what it is, just doing something different each and every time. That comes with a price, though. I mean, because we're always reinventing the wheel, there's always challenges along the way and hiccups, and you never make the money that you think you're going to make on a job when you're doing that. But at the end of the day, it's our passion. It's what keeps me interested in doing what we do. And so we continue to keep reinventing the wheel, I feel like, every project.
Well, I mean, how did you get first involved with doing this show, Insane Pools? I mean, I always wanted to know, how you made the leap from YouTube to, the TV. I mean, that's crazy that you were able to pull that off. I wanted to know how that whole thing came to be.
Yeah, so I mean, we got lucky, really. We had the YouTube channel, and people were finding us through that, and then we had, I guess, for lack of better words, just kind of like a talent scout was looking on YouTube, kind of looking for ideas for a new show. Saw what we were doing. He made a sizzle reel, pitched it to a couple different networks. The first round, nothing happened, and then the second round, it was drawn out. I mean, this was like a multi-year process, so it was really like heart-wrenching. You think you're going to have a show, then you don't have a show, and the back and forth. And then they were looking at, like, I think it started off with 100 different pool companies, and it was down to 20, and then 10, and then 5. And so you're just like, oh my gosh, am I going to make it to the end? And then they chose us to do the show. So it was really cool, but really drawn out process. And after a while, I stopped telling people we were going to have a show because, it was just taking so long. They thought I was just making it up. So I just figured I'd just put it out of my mind, and whatever was meant to be was meant to be. And luckily it all came together. And, it was definitely much harder, bigger challenge to do the show than I ever thought it would be. But, in the end, well worth it. And, got our name out there, and obviously very proud of the show and the jobs we did. And, but it was definitely a huge challenge to try to film a show and still be able to, run a business and try to, get new business. So yeah, a lot of challenges.
Well, I mean, you were talking about that a little bit. I mean, what are some of the challenges of building a pool for a customer that's going to be on a TV show? Can you talk about that a little bit?
Yeah. So, the thing is that everyone thinks because you're on TV, you're just rich, made of money. So that's the thing with reality TV. They don't pay you hardly anything. They know that, it's an opportunity for you. So they kind of exploit that. So you don't really get paid from the show. And then the clients know you're going to get advertising for it, so they want a discount. They want something special. A lot of people have seen like Extreme Home Makeover and stuff, shows where they do things for free, and so there's kind of that mentality that maybe they'll get something for free if they reach out to the show. So here I am, just a real small business, and self-started guy, and everyone's kind of trying to get a deal, and you're just trying to make a living and stay afloat. So, and back then, I wasn't famous, so we had small budgets, and I knew this was my one shot to show the world what we could do. So no matter what budget I got from my clients, I pushed it all the way. I mean, we, as much as I could do for that budget. I mean, a lot of the things that the show did, like decorating with furniture and stuff, that wasn't included. So the first season was really tough because they put low budgets on the pool, and then I built something worth 5 times what I was paid, and then obviously the show now is, season 1, I think, was 7 years ago now. So obviously inflation, things have gone up. So people see that first season, they think for, 150,000, I can build them a nice pool. And now that's our average design fee just to develop these massive projects we're doing. So a lot's changed, but yeah, so you're kind of getting pulled in a million different directions and trying to stay in business. And, I wasn't going to just build a regular pool for TV. So we gave it all we had, and we put our own money and efforts and tried to get deals where we could, and, tried to make a $1 million look for, a couple $100,000. It was definitely very difficult.
Well, I mean, we talked about some of those challenges, but what's been your favorite part about doing the show?
I think just being able to connect with so many people that I wouldn't have connected with, before the show, whether it's homeowners or other people in the industry or kids that, have been inspired to be creative and want to work with their hands. And, so many kids are just kind of stuck on devices and just disconnected from this kind of hard work and art. And so it's been really cool. Like a lot of kids, I've had videos sent to me of kids building their own little ponds in the backyard, to, a Lego pool, to just hand drawings, and just so much fan mail. That's really cool. And that's, to me, to try to inspire the next generation to be creative and work hard. And, that's been really rewarding.
Well, I've seen some of these pools that you build. I mean, honestly, I'm sure you get fan mail all day. I want a pool like this in my backyard. What would your advice be for any homeowner that's looking to build a luxury resort style pool like the ones that your firm builds? I mean, what's a good starting point budget wise, and what kind of timeline are they looking at to build something of this nature?
I mean, our projects these days, I mean, a smaller project's $500,000. Our average job's around $1 million, and we have jobs, even residential jobs, approaching 10 million. So it's very expensive these days, with inflation and just the labor force to build. If someone doesn't have a huge budget, I would recommend, looking into some, there's so many different ways of building a pool, right? I mean, if they're looking for amenities around a pool, I mean, you could do a vinyl liner pool or a fiberglass pool, and then just do like a nice, covered outdoor kitchen hangout area. I mean, just to have water to jump in and swim in. I mean, my first pool experience was an above ground circular pool my aunt and uncle had, and we used to love playing Marco Polo in that thing as a kid. So just for kids, to get in water, I mean, it's so easy for people to reach for the moon, but I mean, really, it doesn't take something huge and elaborate to be fun. And a pool in a backyard to me is very personal. So whether it has to be multi-million dollars or a couple $100,000, I mean, if you do your research and find good reputable people, even if you start simple and kind of build off of it. I mean, when I have the time, I want to start creating some videos, some how-to. People have a pool and they want to remodel. For example, in the beginning, before we had the big budgets, we'd take an old pool, and instead of building these massive footers and using pilings to hold up the weight of massive rocks, we would just use a pond liner and lift it over the edge of the pool and use smaller rocks and build a beautiful waterfall. We'd cut out some planters in the deck, add some lighting. There's lots of things you can do if you have the ability or the willpower, or I mean, whether you can do it yourself or find some people to help you. So there's just so many different levels, and we've been through, my first pool remodel was $35,000, and it was beautiful. And our most expensive project to date is 10 million. So I built everything from 35,000 to 10 million. And no matter what the budget was, in the end, everyone was always just like, this is more beautiful than I can ever imagine. So I just think, putting as much care and passion into a small job as a big job, that's really what it takes. It's just, wanting to make whatever budget you have just as good and as beautiful as you can make it.
Well, I was listening to your episode on pool chasers, and you were talking a little bit about that, where you got your feet wet, so to speak, with remodels. I mean, are you all self-taught?
Yeah, yep. I mean, there was nobody doing what I wanted to do, and nobody. I mean, I tried to, find people to learn from, and there was just really no one in my area doing it. So I had to get little bits of pieces of information from whoever I could ask, and really everything just kind of, the one thing for me is I can visualize what I want to do and figure out how to make it, and I guess that's my gift. So it came kind of that part easy to me, so I figured everybody could do that, and so I didn't think it was really that big a deal. But I guess as I mean, it's just, I think that's the thing, for me. There's things that I think are just so hard that's easy for other people. So I guess if it's your gift, it just kind of comes naturally. And for me, just, I was always creative though. I grew up, without TV and living off the land, and, would always just make things, whether it was forts in the woods or, my dad was a furniture maker. So he had a shop at home. So I'd play as a kid in the shop and build things. So, to me, it was always just kind of using my imagination and creating things. And I saw my, both parents, they were entrepreneurs, they had their own business. So I knew nothing else other than just kind of going out there and just, I didn't have any reservations or fears of, I'm not going to be successful. It was just, I didn't imagine I'd be this successful, certainly, but, just go out there and just do what you love, and eventually, success will hopefully follow. And it definitely wasn't overnight. I mean, I started in 2003. We're almost 2023 here, so almost 20 years of just, a lot of stress and hard work and ups and downs. But at the end of the day, I can't imagine doing anything else.
Oh, that's awesome. I mean, I got to ask you a question that I'm sure, you'd be getting a ton of questions about this. When's the next season of Insane Pools? Are you going to do another one?
So, we've been trying to figure out how we can pull that off. Right now, we just have so many projects in so many different states, and Florida's a massive state. I mean, if you go from Key West to Tallahassee, it's almost 12 hours of driving. So we have a huge area to cover. So, I'd love to find a way to do it. As of right now, we don't have anything in the works, but we are, self-producing some nice episodes on YouTube again, because that's manageable, and we are compiling lots of footage of all our projects, and so we're saving that up and trying to find a formula or format to where we can. We have actually a couple of full-length episodes ready to release. We're just trying to figure out, whether we can get that on Insane Pools as maybe like a special. They want to run maybe a couple features as a special, or we can, maybe put it out there on Amazon Prime or something. So yeah, we're kind of working on it, but over the past few years, we've been just so covered up with just trying to keep up with the demand. The show wasn't really something we were able to do.
Did that COVID demand kind of like sidetrack what you were doing with the show for a bit?
Yeah, I mean, for a while they couldn't even film because of COVID, and then we're on a roller coaster ride. We're on a fixed price contract for our projects, and inflation was through the roof. So we're just trying to finish these jobs and stay in business and keep everybody working. And so we've had some huge challenges, but everything is looking up and doing really good. We've made some tweaks, and always learning as a business owner. And we have still getting the biggest projects of our career. So blessed to have that, and hopefully, keep getting bigger and crazier projects.
Well, I've seen you've been delving into a couple of other new things. One of them was shipping container pools. Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so I went out to Vegas and met the company, and a cool product. And I was also just trying to find other more affordable options for people, because I thought, put a shipping container pool in your backyard and maybe do like a little pool house or cabana, have a nice backyard for, a reasonable price. They're pretty cool. I have found that it is hard to permit them. And also, a lot of the areas where you want to fit one, it's, you have to crane it back there. So
Right.
not as big of a success with that as I was hoping. Definitely some challenges, but I still think, it could be a cool option for some people.
Yeah, I mean, I've seen the Pinterest photos and the social media stuff on it has been pretty interesting. I was wondering, how big a niche that was going to be for your company, considering that you do these massive, over the top resort style lagoon pools. I was saying, is that going to be like a whole side of his business that we haven't seen before?
Yeah, I think, what I'd like to do is, as I kind of get my construction company really ironed out doing the big projects I really love. And I do a lot of consulting and traveling. I've done some design work consulting in Spain, in Madrid, and in Australia, and then all over the US, kind of building teams. And so we're going to work on just, working with other pool contractors and coming up with other products and things, and possibly even creating an app where, um, the homeowner can go out and take a picture of their yard and drag and drop in some different pools and different features and waterfalls, and kind of get an idea of what it would cost and what it would look like. I just like to really, work with other people in the industry and help elevate the industry, and get us kind of, to the next level. So that's kind of, as we iron out the business here and I have more time, that's kind of what I want to go after, is coming up with some, not only like the multi-million-dollar pools, but really cool, affordable backyards as well. Because I feel like, no matter what people's income are, they all deserve, everyone wants the same thing. They want to have a place to make memories with their friends and their family, their kids, whatever, their grandkids. So it'd be just really cool to help people, find a path, find a way, no matter what their budget, to get something in the backyard they can enjoy.
Well, you're on the job site right now. I mean, what's next on the horizon for your team over at Lucas? I mean, are you doing a big job right now?
We're doing like 15 big jobs right now. It's pretty nuts. But yeah, I'm on the job site right now because, well, we had a client pick out his own stone, and it's different than what we're used to working with. So I wanted to get here and figure out with the guys how we were going to put this rock together. So definitely a challenge here. It's just a lot different stone than we're used to working with, but we're used to challenges. And so I'm not on the job site as much as I used to be. I do a lot of traveling consulting. I've been training and building other teams for the travel work, so that my team is able to keep working here in Florida. So just every day is different. Some days I'm traveling or flying or driving and working with other rock stonemasons, other pool companies, assembling a big team to do a massive pool in Texas. They're on 7,500 acres. It's going to be the biggest pool of our career. It's going to be a huge, massive pool that goes over a lower pool, and between the two is a 3,000 square foot grotto with a huge lazy river, and just pretty much any feature you can imagine is on this pool. So it's going to be pretty intense to build. And then we're also designing and going to build our first full-on commercial pool for a resort in Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. It's the Inn at Christmas place, and that's going to be a Christmas themed pool. So we're going to try to do one grotto like an igloo. We're going to have some ice sculptures that are made out of acrylic. We're going to have a lazy river island, like an old truck with a Christmas tree in it. Just have a without making it look cheesy, because Christmas can be hard to, it's such a fun, awesome holiday. But at the same time, how do you do a Christmas pool that's not just super cheesy, right? Like a bunch of ornaments and decorations. So yeah, it's been a challenge, but it's looking cool. The renderings are looking pretty insane. So yeah, we're pretty excited about that one.
I would love it if you could sneak me a design. I would love to see it.
Yeah, I got this. I'll send you over some renderings. It's pretty cool. So we're still developing that one, but hoping to break ground next year. So yeah, just a lot going on.
Terrific. Well, I appreciate you so much for checking in with us today. I mean, it sounds like you have your hands full over there, and that you're kind of like an octopus with your hands on like a million different things. So I really appreciate you taking the time out today to chat with us, Lucas.
Yeah, thank you for reaching out. I always love, chatting with people and sharing our story, and hopefully inspiring other pool contractors and stuff to reach out to us and team up. And I'm one that likes to share information and help other people out. We're not, we're pretty easy to work with, and just love helping people, whether they're other contractors or homeowners or designers. We're here to we've learned a lot. We've made a lot of mistakes over the years and learned how to correct them. So I think, one good thing about learning, being self-taught, is you've made all the mistakes. So hopefully you can help others not make the same mistakes. And in the end, we always made sure, everything came out perfect for the homeowner. So I think, it's okay to make a mistake as long as in the end you deliver the product that you promised you would. So.
Well, it's all about education, man. And I appreciate you, taking the time out to share your story. I mean, we got a lot of builders who listen to our show. So definitely thank you so much for taking the time today.
Thank you so much. Talk to you soon.
Today's episode of Pool Magazine podcast is brought to you by Lyon Financial. Partner with the leader in swimming pool loans to make backyard dreams come true. Lyon Financial offers the best options in the industry, including rates as low as 2.99%, terms up to 30 years, and loans up to $200,000. Make your customers' dreams an affordable reality. Call Lyon Financial today.